This is going to sound really crazy, but it's absolutely true. From the first moment we started working with you till today, we've grown 758%.
Could you repeat that one more time? Because there's somebody out there that has a business right now or an organization, a ministry, an automotive repair shop, a dentistry. I'm just thinking about all the industries we work with, a skincare line, a muffler repair shop. And they're saying, what was that again? Could you repeat that number one more time?
I certainly can. 758% to date.
Well, Thrive Nation, our entire goal here as a business coaching or business growth coaching platform is to help wonderful people like you to grow your business. And every week, almost every week, a wonderful client of ours will tell me about their growth, or they'll share with me about how much they've grown. And I love to document their success stories so that way we can encourage you that you too can turn your dreams into reality. And so today we're joined here with the woman behind Keystone Freedom Academy. You say, what's Keystone Freedom Academy? I'm going to let her share with you about it. It really is a powerful resource for so many families. With that being said, Dr. Janine, welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you?
Thank you. Doing well. Thanks for having me.
So first off, what is KeystoneFreedomAcademy.org?
Keystone Freedom Academy is a private school, and we support students who are emotionally and behaviorally complex. So our student base are from grades 5 through 12, and we actually work with charter schools and work with the public school system. We take the students who others have had challenges with, students who have not been successful in that traditional setting, and we work with them to increase their academics, to help them through whatever the emotional challenges that they're that's keeping them from being successful. And then we return them back to their original school, being productive citizens within that environment and really becoming leaders. They end up graduating with their cohorts, no matter how far behind they are. And we just really, it's like a ministry, felt a passion to really support this particular child, as there was nothing out there that was supporting the academics. We have a lot of programs supporting the mental health of students, but when you take on the mental health with the academics, that didn't exist.
So what kind of growth have you had since we've started working together, since you guys reached out to us and we started working with you, helping you grow your company or your organization?
This is going to sound really crazy, but it's absolutely true. From the first moment we started working with you till today, we've grown 758%.
Could you repeat that one more time? Because there's somebody out there that has a business right now or an organization, a ministry, an automotive repair shop, a dentistry. I'm just thinking about all the industries we work with, a skincare line, a muffler repair shop. And they're saying, what was that again? Could you repeat that number one more time?
I certainly can. 758% to date.
That is powerful. Now I want to unpack that a little bit here. Someone says, "Well, Clay, I don't live in Oklahoma, and I most of your clients are probably in Oklahoma." And I would say, well, 95, maybe 98% of our clients are not based in Oklahoma. Where are you based?
We're based in Pennsylvania.
And then somebody would say, the reason why I can't have success is that I'm too young. I'm 25 years old. Someone says I'm too old. I'm 45 years old. Somebody says, I don't know if now's the right time. What would you say to somebody who's saying, I just don't know if now's the right time to grow my business?
I would say get up, get out, get her done. I retired from public school system, and I was not going to just sit by and live a typical retired life. So I simply took my retirement funds and put it into opening a school that I believe there were gaps in supporting students. And, here we are. So it's only been a few years, and we have expanded. And not only have we expanded in Pennsylvania, but we're expanding in other states as well.
Now, I'm taking all sorts of notes here, just documenting this growth because you've had unbelievable success in what I believe to be 10 areas. So I'm going to go through these 10 with you one by one. First is search engine optimization. I see a lot of doctors, dentists, photographers, and I'll just pull up an example here. One of our wonderful longtime clients, it's called Hollywood Smiles. And I really think the world of Dr. Stephanie. She does a great job. It's called Hollywood Smiles, and she is based in McKinney, Texas. And when I first met her, she wasn't generating any leads or traffic from the internet because her website wasn't optimized. I think about a wonderful client, Kolaw Fitness. If you do a search for Joplin gyms, this is Kolaw Fitness. They're located in Joplin, Missouri, and other states as well, multiple locations. And these people, they come into my life, wonderful people with great ideas, great organizations, great God-inspired ideas to help people, and they just don't have any internet presence. Can you talk about the search engine optimization? Has that made, or what kind of impact has that made on your organization?
It's made tremendous impact. We have like tens of thousands of people that come to our internet or come on the internet and go to our website, which blows my mind. I can't even imagine that kind of access. And our website also is something that was developed and designed through your organization. And I get so many clients coming to us because of the website. We have searched private schools for our child, and your website is what brought us to you because it is so phenomenal. And I knew nothing about any kind of marketing or website development. But with your team, our website just stands alone as being such a top site for information and for drawing in customers.
Second area is, a website is very similar to a garden. You can plant a garden, but then you ultimately have to pull the weeds because weeds grow by default. And with a website, I mean, we don't just build the website as an event. Every single week, we meet with you at a weekly time and we make little tweaks, little updates. We're always adding content. We're always updating the website to be search engine compliant. Could you talk about the idea of having a team that helps you maintain the site?
The team's phenomenal. We're just doing this week, we're working on the website, we're updating it, we're adding additional information, and it's constant growth. It's a living document, if you will, and it grows as we grow, but I don't have to take the time to do that, nor do I have to hire some specialists to do that for me. That's what your team does, and it's phenomenal.
So again, I'm going to make sure folks I'm taking notes here. There's 10 implementation areas that Dr. Janine and her team are working with us to do. Again, we could have all the theories, all the books, all the strategies, but it's all about implementation. If that's the conversation you're looking to have, it's all about implementation. So implementation area number one is the search engine optimization. Number two is maintaining the website. Number three is flat rate costs, a flat rate cost structure. With our service, we charge a flat rate. And so many people come to me and they say, Clay, my web guy, every time I call him, it's $250. My marketing guy, every time I call him, it's $300. My business consultant, every time I call them, it's $400. And they go, how much do you charge? And I say, it's a flat rate of $1,700 a month. They go, yeah, I know it's flat rate, but how much is it really? And I said, well, it's $1,700 a month. They go, no, but I know, but how much is it per call, per interaction? Can you talk about how much that's helped your maybe peace of mind as you're growing this organization, knowing that it's a flat rate?
Absolutely. I used to have an IT company, and every minute, it's like having a lawyer on staff. You get charged per minute, and every little thing, not only was it a $2,000 monthly charge, but then you'd get a bill and go, holy smokes, what is this for? And it was for all those extra minutes. And so with your organization, it is $1,700 flat fee And I have access to you, I have access to Carter, I have access to anyone on your team, and I'm able to text, call, um, put things on our agenda, and I get instant response. And every week we meet and go through everything to make sure everyone has done their part to update whatever it is that we're working on and growing.
Now, the next area here, and I want to bring up this idea and maybe do a little teaching in the meantime as well. The word esoteric means intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people. And I find it to be ironic that the word esoteric is, in fact, itself esoteric. But there's a lot of times when you're working with a business owner or when I'm working with a business owner, and I've been doing this since 2005, I'll sit down with a business owner and I say, we need to build a workflow map. And they say, what's a workflow? And I said, we need to script out every aspect of your business so it's not just randomness. And they say, huh? And I say, it's the service profit chain. There's a Harvard case study written about it. Maybe it helps to see a picture, but you need to have a workflow that documents how the process works. So how do you generate leads? Once a lead comes in, what do you say to the lead? After you say something to the lead, what happens next? How does the customer get charged? How is value added? How do you follow up? How do you know the customers are happy? How do you hire people? How do you hire, train, retain good people? How do you do the accounting? And you guys have been very coachable, and we've worked together to build a linear workflow. Could you talk about how much having a workflow has impacted your organization?
Well, it's impacted 100%. If we had not had the workflow, we'd still be where we were on year one. The workflow not only is a map that guides us to reach our goals, but it's something that we look at every week. We work through each one of those pieces to make sure that there's nothing that needs tweaked or edited. Our particular our particular workflow, we have, because we're expanding, we have a whole systematic, um, or all of our systems are in that workflow. And you can click on it. It's user friendly. Everything is spelled out. It's almost like having a uh, an instruction guide online. And so go to the index. What do you want to know? It's there. Click it, it's there. Step by step procedures. There's everything from our group interviews, tracking, our website, again, our systems, our one sheet, our Dream 100, testimonials. Everything is there so that can the staff not only can they go on there and select any kind of system or process that they want to know how to do, but as we expand and we open up into new areas, it's user administrators that come on board.
Now, the next area implementation area number 5. And again, folks, if you're out there today and you have a business and you're coachable, that's what we're looking for. That's why I wanted to celebrate Dr. Janine today. There are people that reach out for reasons I don't understand, who are not coachable. And so it's very difficult to help somebody have success if the person is unwilling to implement the systems. But this next area is call scripting. When the phone rings, what do your employees need to say? So to my left, we have a call center for one of my companies. We have a haircut chain called Elephant in the Room. So when the phone rings, we have a call center, and our employees who are right over there, they answer the phone following the call script. When you go to Make Your Dog Epic, that's a business I'm involved in, and we have a call script for that business as well. Can you talk about the importance of having call scripting in place as opposed to letting everything being a wandering generality?
Absolutely. The call scripting is extremely important. So we're having the same message to the same from the to customers, and that message needs to be the same across the board. I have marketing people who make calls after they go out and visit, and they know exactly what they're going to say on the visit because that's also scripted. So everything in person is scripted, everything on the phone is scripted. So everybody's saying the same thing. You have the same message. There's no confusion. This is who we are. This is what we do. And here's the process moving forward if you'd like to come on board or have a child come to our particular school.
Now, the next area, implementation area number 6, employee recruitment. I hear all the time people say, Clay, I want to implement what you're telling me, but I don't know how to find good people. And so I think about specific examples of clients I work with that are wonderful people. I think about a company like OxyFresh. The man behind that business is Jonathan Barnett, the founder of OxyFresh. I've worked with him. It's hard to believe, but I've worked with him so long. There's now over 500 locations of OxyFresh. I mean, this is a guy that I've worked with for, I think, 17 years. He has over 500 locations. And so, but that business wouldn't work unless there was a team. You know, you can't make the dream work without the teamwork, right? You have to have a team. Can you talk about the employee hiring and employee recruitment processes that we've helped to teach you and implement?
Absolutely. So, first of all, it starts with a group interview. And when I first heard this concept, I scratched my head and said, a group interview, how on earth would that be um, successful? And I'm sure everyone would have the same thought. Well, in my industry, that's just not going to work because of this, this, and that. And so everything that has been brought to the table, like you said, we've been coachable. We're like, well, let's try it. Let's see what happens. I would never do anything but group interviews from this point on. They are so uh, they're so amazing in weeding out and really identifying people that stand out. The other thing we're able to do with group interviews is we now have new hires on reserve. And so in our industry, it's hard to get very specific people with specific skills to work with our particular clients, with our children. And so we do the group interviews regularly. And when we find someone who we know is going to be a good fit, we put them on what I call reserve. And when an opening comes, we call them, or if we're expanding, we call them and reach out, and they're ready to come on board immediately. So we're not just hiring anyone off the street because we need a body. But this group interview process has um, enabled us to be able to have these people who are ready, they're qualified, and they're going to be the right people on the team.
Now, the thing, again, folks, all of this coming together is what adds value. People say, what's the most important aspect of growing a company? Is it marketing? Is it branding? Is it hiring? Is it accounting? Is it bookkeeping? Is it tracking? Is it online ads? Is it search engine? It's all of it. It's like asking, so what's the most important component of making cookies? Is it the flour? Is it the eggs? It's all of those ingredients coming together. And that's why I'm so excited to share with you the story, because you're implementing everything. The next is weekly coaching. You have a weekly meeting. And in that weekly meeting, it shouldn't feel like a beating, but it should feel like a meeting. And it has to do with accountability, making sure that you guys got all your action items done, making sure that my team got our action items done, and making sure that we identify that biggest limiting factor and we move beyond it. Can you talk about the importance of having a weekly recurring coaching meeting at the same time every week?
Yes. So we have our weekly meeting and we have our agenda. And on the agenda, we go through those action steps. Everyone is given a step. And I do have additional staff people that join the meeting weekly because they're an integral part of our expansion. And so they will have action steps as well. And then your team also has action steps. And so we make sure those steps are done, like our tracking. Tracking is important to keep that up to date. And you can track anything you want, but of course we track the reviews, we track number of new clients, we track our financials. So tracking is really important. Then we go through each of the steps, like the website, the Dream 100. If we're doing any marketing, we look at our marketing. Does our one sheet need to be changed up? One thing, two things actually that really, and I'm sure you'll get to them, but they excite me so much. I'm just gonna put it out there. The Dream 100 is phenomenal. And not only having that list, but the coaching that we've received with what to do with those people once we've reached them. And then we reach out, and then they reach out to us. And then how do you maintain those relationships? And then how do you build a new Dream 100 list? So that's all really important. And um, those are practices that I would not have known to put in place. The other practice I would not have known to put in place is video testimonies. Video testimonies are absolutely the soul of getting clients. We use video testimonies um, for everything and everywhere. And even in our expansion, our new clients, all they want to hear are the testimonies. And to be able to see them on video, it has taken our business and just exploded it just with that in itself.
And again, folks, once the leads come in, you have a script to call the leads. Once the leads come in, you have a script to call the leads. But then you say, well, who's going to call the leads? You have a process in place for hiring people. So if you're listening to today's show and you feel like any of these areas are broken, that's what we do. Now, the next thing we do is we include access to workshops. I do a workshop every 2 months. Our next one is next week. Well, I'm not sure when people are going to watch this, but we'll bring in people from time to time, like Tim Tebow, that will come speak. We have Eric Trump and Robert Kiyosaki coming to a conference we have coming up in March. And I never know who we're going to bring in. We brought in the man who's turned around Harley Davidson, and we've brought in the world's top public relations expert, Michael Levine, and we've brought in so many different people. But at the conference, it's all about you. And we guide every client through this 14-point system of how to grow your company. And then we break every 30 minutes where we do Q&A. So we do 30 minutes of teaching and then 15 minutes of question and answer. What kind of value has that made on your business, or impact has that made having access to those business workshops that you can come to whenever you want, 4 to 6 times a year?
I have I have attended three of your workshops, and I am attending the one in March. I'm not making the December one, but I will be at the March event, and I will be bringing my top corporate staff with me. I now have a corporation thanks to the work that your organization has done with us, and they're I call them life changing. The information that you get, the growth, the value is it's not measurable. It's just invaluable. It's so much information each time I come. And do you have to come to so many? No. But each time I come, I walk away with so much information, but I keep bringing people with me on my staff because I want them to see the value and I want them to grow as well.
And what's wild too, I don't know if people know this, but we have a book that we teach from. I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. But I update that book every single year. People say, why? Well, what happens is when I come to this event, I've been self-employed since I was 16 years old. I've been coaching clients since 2005. And every time, there's not a single time it doesn't happen. A client will come up to me and ask me a question I've never heard before. An attendee will ask me a question and I go, oh, wow, we need to cover that at the next one. So we cover all 14 aspects of business growth. We cover establishing your revenue goals, determining your break-even point, figuring out how many hours per week you're willing to work, your unique value proposition, branding, marketing, sales conversion, customer acquisition costs, repeatable systems, processes, management execution systems, how to create a weekly sustainable schedule that's repeatable and sustainable, how to hire, how to train and retain great people, accounting. We teach all of this, but we open it up for a Q&A after every session. And every single time I go, man, I need to add that to the next workshop. And so what happens is we have this book that we go through called A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich. And this book has every single year evolved and, in my opinion, improved to the point that people say, Clay, on the way home from the event, I'm reading through the book and I'm going, wow, that was powerful. So it's the book, you have a workbook that you're following at our events. And it's a fun environment. Could you describe the environment? We have so many entrepreneurs who, in my opinion, are some of the best characters on the planet. These are diligent people. We have it starts at 7, it goes till 5 each day. Could you describe the kinds of people that attend the workshops as well?
The workshops are absolutely fabulous. And we have so much fun. We meet so many other entrepreneurs and we make connections and lifelong connections. We uh, you'll have a band, you'll have animals, we have drawings for all different gifts and services. It's just it's a fun, active environment where you are learning and taking away strategies for your own business. But again, you're networking and you're meeting other people. And like I said, this is going to be my fourth one. And I cannot wait. I can't wait to come see you again in March.
Now, the final two areas I wanted to ask you about today was merit-based pay. I'm doing this interview with you the day after or 2 days after Thanksgiving, so Saturday the 30th. I'm here. We have a staff of people behind me. You might see in the background walking around doing things. Everybody in my life, all the employees, they operate under a system I call merit-based pay, a meritocracy. So basically, they get paid for what they do, not based on what they say they're going to do or based upon what the resume says they can do. They get paid on based upon what they do. And so our employees tend to make far more than the industry average for the industries we're in because they get paid based upon what they do. They get paid off the results, not based off of the length of the resume or the degrees they have. Could you talk about the importance of implementing merit-based pay?
Absolutely. We started out with trying a bonus system, and it really didn't work well for us because it didn't have the rigor that we needed to bring our staff to raise them up in their performance. So, looking at a merit-based pay, uh, it's phenomenal. We actually have now staff that submit to us twice a year what they've been working on, what it brings to the organization, what the procedures are for it, and artifacts to prove that what they've done is benefiting our organization. And then my admin team, then we go through and we look at those and we determine based on the effect of the the item.
Yeah,
It's hard to describe
yeah.
the effect of what they've done. How much did it give back to what we're doing? And the give back could be through community, it could be through students, it could be through the growth of the organization, through other staff members. And then we put a value on that and they get a merit-based pay on what they've contributed. And because we only do it twice a year, every 6 months, if you will, or half of the year, everybody's working on making sure that things are growing, that they're doing the best they can do because they want to get the top amount in that payment.
Now, I have one final question for you with a final 60 seconds. And I hate to do two-part questions, but it's a two-part question for you. So one is, again, what kind of a percentage growth have you had? For anybody who might have missed it, they might have been going through a drive-through. So what was that percentage growth? And then second, what would you say to anybody who's on the fence about scheduling a free 13-point assessment or coming to one of our in-person workshops?
758% growth. And that's over just a few years. I think we've been maybe a little over 3 years working together. 758% growth. And we have our goals set out for our 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10 years. And we have a goal for 10 years. At that growth, we would be at 40 million, but our goal is 50 million. So we do believe we'll make that. We believe that's very sustainable. And with the help of your team, that's where we're looking to go. What was the second one? Oh my goodness, you have to come. No hesitation at all. Do not hesitate. You have to come to the event. You either come to the event or call and get an hour meeting with someone, even just an hour meeting. You're going to go through that 13-step process. And through that process, you're going to get so much out of it. It'll blow your mind. And then if that's what it takes, do that first. You won't want to miss the business conference.
Well, it is an honor to know you, an honor to call you friend. I'm so thankful that your business is growing, and I really do believe we're just getting started, and that's a 758% growth. I do believe we're just starting. I don't mean this in a passive-aggressive way. I know that if people like yourself or myself can do it, I know if we can do it, I know everybody out there watching today, you too can do it. You have the mental capacity and the tenacity needed to become successful. So schedule that free consultation today at thrivetimeshow.com. Dr. Janine, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Okay, Aaron Antis, March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, guess who's coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem?
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, that's March 6th and 7th.
Oh.
We're going to be joined by Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably the best-selling or one of the best-selling business authors of all time. And he's going to be joined with Eric Trump. He'll be joined by Eric Trump. So we got Eric Trump and Robert Kiyosaki in the same place.
In the same place.
Aaron, why should everybody show up to hear Robert Kiyosaki?
Well, you got billions of dollars of business experience between those two, not to mention many, many, many millions of books have been sold. Many, many millionaires have been made from the books that have been sold by Robert Kiyosaki. I happen to be one of them. I learned from the man. He was the inspiration. That book was the inspiration for me to get the entrepreneurial spirit, as many other people.
Now, since you won't brag on yourself, I will. You've sold billions of dollars of houses, am I correct?
That is true.
And the book that kickstarted it all for you,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the author, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
He's going to be here. I'm pumped.
And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States and soon to be the 47th president of these United States, he needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second. Would you buy a ticket just to see Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Trump? Of course you would.
Of course you would.
But we're also going to be joined by Sean Baker. This is the best-selling author, the guy who invented the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. He's been on Joe Rogan multiple times. He's going to be joining us. So you've got Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Eric Trump, Sean Baker. The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that, is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that if a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what, we should probably add on. So we're adding on what we call the upper deck, or the top shelf. So the seats are very close to the presenters, but we're actually building right now. We're adding on to the facility to make room to accommodate about another 30 attendees or more. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody, don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors, and most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck, and so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis.
Sure.
There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
You know, I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. I should. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. And then you add to that Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You add to that Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You add to that Sean Baker. Now you might say, but Clay, is there more? I need more. Well, okay, Tom Wheelwright is the wealth strategist for Robert Kiyosaki. So people say, Robert Kiyosaki, who's his financial wealth advisor? Who's the guy who manages, who's his wealth strategist? His wealth strategist, Tom Wheelwright, will be here. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma, and nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns what do you call that? The rental,
storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the day here is March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, we just got confirmation. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he'll be here. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Now, don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life changing. It is life changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right,
Like,
not really. So if you're looking to have life changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.